Why bigger is not always better. Wait, sorry, wrong script. Okay, so Nerfed Naruto versus Kaguya. So this is a video that I've actually had on the back burner for a while, but it's something that I feel like I really wanted to talk about. So before I do that, do me a huge favor and scroll down just a bit. If you see that sub button and it's still red, do me a favor and hit it for me, as well as commenting your favorite dojutsu and joining our community Discord server if you want to talk to me directly or join in on weekly debates. Now, before we give a flat out answer, let's talk about some other relevant feats for each of these characters, as well as their variations that we're going to be referring to here, because that's going to be pretty important. Starting with Kaguya, we're going to be focusing on Kaguya after she got revived and during the fight against Naruto and Sasuke. Her main feats include being able to use her ash bones to disintegrate a bunch of Naruto clones, and this is something to definitely be avoided, as it was able to kill Obito. They can pierce 6 Path Susanoo, so it's unlikely that Naruto would actually be able to stop this, even if he did have the Nine Tails. She was also fast enough to keep up with Naruto and Sasuke on multiple different occasions, and was able to use her Ameno Minaka, I believe that's what it's called, to catch them off guard. She was also able to avoid Sasuke's Chidori when he teleported right in front of her, so he's definitely above these two, or at least relative in terms of speed. Again, she casually overpowers Naruto and Sasuke multiple times to the point where they can hardly do any damage whatsoever, and they only manage to win because the seals that were given to them by Hagoromo. She's able to casually rip chunks off of Sasuke Susanoo and overwhelms him multiple times when he's in it. She even manages to tank like 9 different Sage Art, Super Biju, Drasen Shurikens from point blank from a 6 paths Naruto. She also has the Byakugan, so she's able to use it with all of its visual enhancements provided by it. She can transport others to different dimensions, such as one containing ice to freeze the opponent, one with acid, and one with gravity so intense that it actually affects her as well. And on top of that, she can produce Truth Seeker orbs and has Rinne Sharingan, can shoot Senbons out of her hair, and again, like I said, she has access to these ash bones and access to every chakra nature. Now Naruto, on the other hand, we're going to be focusing on Nerfed Naruto without Kurama, so we're going to be looking at a bunch of his feats while in base and also Sage mode as well. So starting a little bit further back, when he was around 19 years old, I believe it was, in the last base, Naruto and Hinata are able to destroy the Tensegon together. He's able to face off against multiple of Toneri's dolls and even cracks and damages the Toneri puppet without too much difficulty. And in Boruto, he manages to swap hands with a fused Momoshiki temporarily. Now keep in mind, this is without the use of Sage mode or any of his KCM abilities, drained on chakra, and facing a more powerful Momoshiki who was already seen as a threat more powerful than Kaguya. And it's actually his base giant Rasengan that he gave to Boruto, which actually ended up killing fused Momoshiki. Now you could argue that Boruto put a little bit of his chakra in there, but I mean that really doesn't make too much sense, as even Boruto himself was amazed when Naruto put his hand underneath him and gave him all the chakra, seeing how massive the Rasengan got. And I mean, it kind of makes sense for Naruto to be much stronger than Momoshiki here, because why else would you give your Rasengan, your finishing blow, to your child to take care of this final boss? I mean, you have to be seriously confident that that Rasengan is going to take him out if you're going to give that to a little 12-year-old child. Now, as far as durability goes, he doesn't have any huge durability feats when he's an adult, but I mean, he is able to tank at least some basic taijutsu blows from Momoshiki as well. And he obviously still has Sage mode, but he doesn't really have too many Sage mode feats. But we do know that Sage mode in and of itself provides a significant amp to the user in terms of taijutsu, genjutsu, and ninjutsu, which was mentioned by Fukasaku and obviously was exemplified. For example, without Sage mode, I mean, I assume Naruto probably would have done just as good as Kakashi against the Paths of Pain, maybe slightly better, because at that point, he had already surpassed Kakashi, as Kakashi himself stated twice. With the use of Sage mode and a little bit of help, he was able to take out virtually all of the Paths of Pain. Now again, it is possible that both of them could have independently gotten a little bit stronger since then, so this doesn't hold too much weight, but that is something to throw out there. And there are some other examples as well, which we can kind of use to try to quantify the boost provided by Sage mode. For example, I mean, most people would probably agree with the fact that Sage mode is above the Curse Mark amp, but I can confidently say that they're at least relative due to the fact that Naruto and Sasuke were roughly on the same tier of power during the time of the Jubito fight, when Naruto's in his KCM 2 with Sage mode, and Sasuke is using the Susanoo with Jugo's chakra, which is conveniently also Senjutsu, like Sage mode, and is what the Curse Mark is actually based off of. The Curse Mark itself, which again is inferior to Jugo's inherent chakra, is at least a 10 times multiplier due to the fact that Jirobo himself stated that in the fight against Choji, and Kiba noticed this again in the fight against Sakon and Ukon in part 1. So finally, we can kind of get to the point here. Although we didn't really get to see the upper limits of Kaguya's power, if we assume that Momoshiki is above Kaguya, or even relative, then the feats would indicate that Naruto would win. As for Momoshiki versus Kaguya, that's a whole video in and of itself, which I might create too if you need more evidence. And I'll definitely link it here if I end up making it in the future. But the main evidence I'll provide here is that Sasuke mentions that Kinshiki and Momoshiki are threats above Kaguya. I mean, there's more, but I'll just leave it at that, just in case I decide to make a video later on. And the fact that Naruto was able to perform so well against Momoshiki, it fused Momoshiki, and essentially take him out while he was handicapped, points to Naruto being stronger than Kaguya. Remember, again, this is Naruto in base. He had his chakra drained to the point that Momoshiki was just getting tired of draining it. Whereas Momoshiki, who was already comparable to Kaguya, presumably, was amped by absorbing Kinshiki, was amped by taking the chakra pills, and absorbing some of Naruto's chakra. So, I mean, this should be a pretty black and white answer. So my answer is that Naruto amped with a Sage Mode on top of that should have enough destructive power to deal with Kaguya, as well as potentially enough speed to keep up with her as well. I mean, even without the Sage Mode, it might be looking like it's in his favor. And if you're giving him the Sage Mode on top of that, I mean, it's kind of like GG's at that point. But Kaguya could potentially win if her Ash Bones hit him, which they seem to neg durability, and if she can get him in some sort of environment disadvantage by teleporting him. So I'd say it probably goes to adult Naruto 8 out of 10 times, but let me know what you guys think below. Did I miss something? Because I'm dying to read your thoughts. Now, if you guys like more videos like this, do me a huge favor and drop a sub, like, comment, as well as joining our community Discord server for weekly debates, and check out our channel hoodie if you want to support us, and I'll catch you in the next one.